Hey everybody, it is Pat. It's Wednesday, I think it's the 29th today, of April. So we're at the very end of April. I'm a little bit late. I've been off the YouTube media for about a week or so. But so today is going to be a little bit of an oracle card reading for this, the remainder of this week, maybe going into next week. And we'll also take a look at the cards that I had picked in the longer 3-month reading, the cards that came out for us for May. So now I've got it and pulled cards ahead of time for what's up for this week, forecast for this week, what we're looking at. And as usual, I use my Archangel Oracle cards. And this week I felt guided to work with the Archangel Michael cards. Because Michael is an archangel, as I've mentioned before, who lends us protection, courage, helps us with feelings of safety, and helps to remove the effects of fear. Okay, so if you're in a fear-based place, Michael's a very good angel. But I also find from working with the Archangel Michael card deck that he, like other angels, herald, kind of what's coming up for us. So anyways, let's get into it. So the Archangel who's overseeing us this week, okay, for the remainder of our April and going into May, is this one. It's Archangel Raguel with this message of divine order. The message on the card says, everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. Okay, so it's timing is everything. That's what this card is about. All right, and so what it's showing us, and Raguel is an archangel, interestingly enough, not only of order, he oversees the other archangels, but he's also an angel of justice and fairness. Okay, so I think what he's highlighting in this card, in this message, or what is being highlighted, is one, like he says, look past the, he says look past the illusion, but I would say look past the chaos that is going on. All right, and there is an underlying order. There's a timing to the way things are happening, the way they've taken place. And, these are the scales of justice. So I feel there's an element of that that you're going to see this month. Because if you recall, so when I did that longer reading for April, May, June, the Archangel who is overseeing us for that month, for this month coming up, May, is Michael. Saying you are safe. And I felt like when I looked at that card for a month of May, that one, there's going to be I think we're going to get some good news, and there's going to be a general, more of a feeling of safety. But I also feel like there's a message of justice to this, that, justice is coming forward. We actually may, in fact, hear either from or about, or what some of our justices are doing, and things that have been in the courts with regard to our current administration, et cetera, et cetera. So but that message from Raguel is about timing. Timing is everything. And my sense that we may find that there might be like a perfect storm of things that hit all at once. So anyways, but in your own personal life, there's a lot of us who have kids who are home from school because the schools have been canceled for the rest of the year. And, we're dealing with working from home and having kids at home. So he's letting us know that there is, there's an underlying order and the timing of things, the way they're happening. There's an element of them working behind the scenes about it, them being the angels. Okay. Sometimes when there's chaos and disorder, it's frustrating as that is, as hard as that is. It actually can bring about blessings. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. But the fact that this card says order, divine order, I feel like there's an element of timing to it. It's either things that you're doing right now, things you're about to file for, or applications you're putting in, or it can apply to a number of things. The timing is critical right now. The timing is of the essence, okay? So there's an element of order that's going on there. Okay, so let's get into what Archangel Michael cards have shown us for this week. All right, the first card that came out was this one. It says, you've created the situation and you have the power to change it. So what that means is the beginning of the week, and this may have already gone past a little bit because I did pull out these cards the other day, is that some situation that you're in right now, there's an element of your own actions or inaction, what have you, that may have led to creating it. I know for myself, I started this week feeling very tired because I allowed myself to stay up a little bit too late over the weekend and watch a favorite movie of mine, Hidden Figures. I love that movie. And but it was on late, so I went to bed late. So for the past 2 days, I've been suffering fatigue from that. I created the situation and I had the power to change it, which I started to do by getting to bed much earlier last night and making sure I got a good night's sleep. Because even if I have great ideas to do, when I haven't had enough sleep, I have no motivation to do them and I get nothing done. I become very unproductive, which I don't like. So anyways, that's what this card alludes to. At the beginning of the week, there may have been something that you find yourself immersed in that, you know, it may be something like, you know, where you were involved in you know, trying to do stuff with your kids and you've just reached the point of fatigue with it, and or the way you're handling it or something like that. It's creating a shift in the situation. So there's it indicates that something's going to change. You have the power to change it by changing your actions, your approach, your what have you, or by, you know, taking the action of stepping back. So anyways, the next card is this one. Indicates as your children are watched over by the angels, but it indicates that we have that concern going on. There's concern for a child of your, you know, either that is your own child or a child in your care or a child that you know of. There's concern in general for children because, you know, we have our kids who are missing their ceremonies. They're missing the end of the school year. There may be some fears that they might be behind going into next year. Or they're just suffering with something. Maybe they have a malady. Maybe there's something that is going on with them where they're suffering physically. But this is a message of hope, okay? That your children are being watched over and taken care of. It may be beyond your ability to help them in a particular situation, so you may need to surrender it. But there's help for them. They won't get behind. Things will work out. And that's part of what, you know, this is alluding to. The hard part of this with our kids, with people being home and having to kind of homeschool them. I mean, both teachers and the kids got thrown into this distant learning thing. And, you know, learning online can be a great thing. I've taken many online courses myself, but when you're thrown into it, you're not used to it. It can create a lot of, you know, disruption and stress and things like that. So anyways, concerns for the children are probably what's the element that's in now. It's like, what are we doing for the kids for their graduation now that we know school's canceled? How can we help them? And the angels, when they say your children are watched over by angels, I want to say that the angelic energy works through people. It's the people who are like earth angels that jump on stuff and get organized around doing things for our children, you know? So, anyways, that's what's coming up, you know. It's probably what's in the mix now, I would say. Now, going into the end of the week, for later this week, sense of humor came out. And so what that means is basically you're going to be hanging out with your friends, having some laughs, even if you have to do it over a chat. Or you might be watching a funny movie. You know, there's things that we're doing, you know, later in the week to just lighten up. And laughter is the best medicine, really. So it shows us that that's what we're going to be doing as we get, you know, move into the weekend. We're going to be looking for ways to, you know, laugh at things and, you know, laugh at human nature as a way from getting away from the seriousness and the intensity and the drama of the stuff that's going on in our world, okay? So now after that, I would say maybe the end of the weekend, going into early next week, Michael came out with this card. It's time to leave the unhealthy situation. So, it's you may find yourself, or some people, there may be some of you out there that are just coming to an awareness. And this is sort of a confirmation of it, that you're in a situation where you've been investing a lot of time and energy, and it's just beyond your ability to heal or resolve it. It's not going to have a healthful outcome for you. It might be a relationship, a situation that you're in, either a work or something else. It can even be the fact that, maybe I know I've been doing it, overeating a lot and eating foods that that you're addicted to, or beverages that you're addicted to, and are foods that are unhealthy for you because you have food sensitivities, but you've been eating them anyways because you just want the pleasure of it. That may be the unhealthy situation that it's time to leave behind. So, but and sometimes it's that lightening up with friends and laughing at stuff that kind of helps you to take a step back from a situation and realize, the tension and the drama or the unhealthiness of a situation that you're embroiled in. So, and this card literally says it's time to leave. And so it might be, leaving a place. It might be leaving a situation, leaving a relationship. It might be leaving some bad habits behind. Any one of those things. So this is what he's heralding for the remainder of the week going into early next week. So now looking again at the month of May, and I want to say, with this card again, it's another message is this card is leave it behind without guilt or apologies. Okay. And that's oftentimes the hardest part about making a decision to leave something that's not healthy for you, whether it's a job or whether it's a relationship or a situation. It's the feeling of guilt that we have or can have over whatever we might be leaving behind. But sometimes a retreat is a retreat in strength. Okay. And, as I've mentioned before, these card readings, they're for entertainment purposes only. It's just really to give a forecast of the energies that are coming up from the week. And it's not, indicating of, it's just really a forecast of what you may find yourself, a place you may find yourself in. It's not, certainly suggesting that you do anything or move in a direction that doesn't feel right to you, I guess is what I want to say. So, but and sometimes we have to sit with something for a little bit before we come to that awareness. But it's just an indication that awareness may be coming to you about something in your life this weekend. And usually the biggest factor that keeps us from leaving something that we know is unhealthy is guilt in some way. Or if it's like a food sensitivity or something, it's just kind of like, oh, I really don't want to give up something that's giving me pleasure at the moment. We don't want to feel deprived, I guess is what it is. But anyways, so I'll leave that with that. Now moving into some other messages that we had coming up for May, since we are right on the cusp of moving into May. So we had Archangel Michael with that you are safe, protecting you against lower energies and guarding your home, your loved ones, and you. So I think that's a greater feeling of safety as we come into May. And also I think we're going to see some, justice come forward. And I'm not sure exactly how that's going to come forward, but anyways. So the other cards that we had were Archangel Gabriel, who is an angel who heralds messages. Gabriel is most famously known for giving the message or the announcement to Mary about the birth of Jesus. And so Gabriel is an angel that heralds things, brings announcements. And, you know, to quote, it was, I bring you great tidings, I bring you tidings of great joy. And so I think we're going to be happy about the messages that are coming out. And I think, what we may find is sometime in May we hear about, it's pretty clear now that Joe Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee. And I don't know if they've formally declared that or not. But I think you might find that in May that he makes an announcement. That's part of what one of these messages is, about who his vice president running mate is going to be. And I think it's pretty much known, and because he said it as much, that it's going to be a woman. So I think we'll find out who that's going to be. That's going to be one of the announcements maybe that comes up in May. But generally, a lot of strong messages coming forward, messages of truth, finding out the truth about things. Because when I asked for clarification on that card, I got the Oracle of Delphi, who is, like the messages from the divine, or from the wisdom of the Oracle. We also had ceremony and wind activation. And I think a lot of us are going to be looking at ceremonies. What kinds of ceremonies? In what way can we have a ceremony of some kind for our children under these conditions? Okay. And also ceremonies for those who have passed on. There's a lot of people who have died from this virus, as well as other normal things, things that people normally die of, maybe heart attacks or strokes or cancer or things like that. How do we have ceremonies in these circumstances? The wind activation, when that card, I think as I mentioned in that longer reading, is usually when I look at that, I get a sense of storms coming up, like storms in the earth plane, like tornadoes and things like that. We certainly did have a lot of those that happened over the past couple of months. Tornadoes were big. So there may be more of them on the way, or I think in a weird way, it may not be pointing to that. I think it may be pointing to the fact that there's a change in the wind, okay? And I want to say again, I feel like this month may bring in like the perfect storm of things happening. Not necessarily exclusively with this virus, because I think we may have some good news that way on many fronts. And we have already gotten good news about it. In many places that were very badly hit, like New York, their curve is going down. Or at least it has flattened, but I think it's starting to go down, as last I remember watching a report about it. But it just may be the perfect storm of things coming to light, justice coming forward, the truth being exposed about some things. And I think it may have to do with the courts, the courts deciding about certain things. So anyways, those are the cards and messages that we've gotten going into this week and into the month of May. So anyways, I hope this finds you all well and safe and sound, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care. Actually, now I'm looking at I was kind of in my laid back sweats today, but it's so interesting that children card came up. Your children are watched over, because I have my Boston Children's sweatshirt on today, which I got from, I'm a platelet donor, and I go to Boston Children's because I know that the platelets go directly to sick kids that are going on. And the last thing I want to tell you about is I'm actually having a meditation tonight. I'll put the link below, but via Zoom. So I've done a Circle of Angels meditation for a long time, where I call on the angels and we go through a meditation, a clearing meditation with Archangel Michael. And it's free, so you are welcome to join that. I'll put the link below. Take care, everyone.